Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers chat course as court trials lingers. Welcome back to this wonderful channel where I'll bring you back-to-back updates and information. In case it's your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, it will be the first. We will collect them. Let's go down to the information of the day. As the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, continues to linger, judges' withdrawal from his case is raising concerns. The Nigerian government has been prosecuting Kanu since 2015. He is standing trial for several charges ranging from treasonable felonies to terrorism. In 2017, Justice Binta Nyako of an Abuja Federal High Court granted him bail in the sum of 100 million, but the IPOB leader absconded from Nigeria after the military alleged invaded his residence in Afaruku, Abia State. Kanu was, however, rearrested in July 2021 in Kenya and subjected to extraordinary rendition back to Nigeria, where he was rearranged on charges bordering on terrorism. In October 2022, the Court of Appeal in Abuja discharged and acquitted Kanu of all the 15-count charges, describing them as illegal and unlawful. The court held that the federal government breached all local and international laws by subjecting the Biafra agitator to extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria, a situation that makes the terrorism charges against him incompetent and unlawful. However, the Supreme Court ruled that Kanu should return to Nigeria court and face trial afresh. A report has it that a total of 3 judges have stepped down from handling Kanu's trial since its inception in 2015. In December 2015, Justice Ahmed Mohammed stepped down from Kanu's trial after the IPOB leader said he had no confidence in him. In September 2016, Justice John Tosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja pulled out of Kanu's case in a petition his then lawyer Ifeanyi Ejiofor sent to the National Judiciary Council (NJC). Kanu accused Justice Tosho of judicial rascality and called for the council to investigate the judge for giving parallel judgment on the same issue. Following the petition, Justice Tosho, who stepped down from the case, said, "Even if I am cleared of any bias by the NJC, I will not continue with this case." In September 2024, Justice Binta Nyako of Abuja Federal High Court also rescued herself from Kanu's case following his declaration of lack of confidence in her. Despite argument from the federal government's lawyer, Adegboyeye Awolowo, Justice Nyako has said, "I hereby rescue myself and remit the case file back to Chief Judge." But Kanu's lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako, said the decision of judges to rescue themselves from Kanu's trial was evidence that judiciary was having a hard time. Speaking with Daily Post, Ejimako said 3 judges have been withdrawing from Kanu's trial since its inception in 2015. This is affirmative evidence that judiciary is having a hard time or a conflict with coming to a verdict that Kanu committed any real offense. Another incident that demonstrates the conflict within the judiciary is the acquittal by the Court of Appeal that was reversed by the Supreme Court on reasons that do not comport with the good law. Yet, another point of judicial conflict in the case is the inexplicable refusal of Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court to abide by the finding of the Supreme Court that Kanu did not jump bail. These anomalies have posed complexities that are not supposed to be allowed in a society governed by rule of law and fundamental fairness. Ejimako said the IPOB leader must be treated in accordance with the Constitution. He added that if the Supreme Court restored Kanu's bail, judges would need to step down. To break what you called a jinx of judges rescuing themselves, All that is required is for Kanu to be treated in accordance with the law and the constitution. For instance, he is not supposed to be detained at the DSS where his preparation for trial are hampered by the monitoring of his conversation with his lawyers and interdiction of his confidential legal documents. Sometimes, the DSS even block his lawyers from meeting with him. He is supposed to be detained in prison or a correctional facility that does not engage in such unconstitutional act. Another fairway is for his bail to be restored as the Supreme Court held. This is even better because a court of judge that refused to follow the Supreme Court and restore Kanu's bail is unlikely to give him a fair trial. One might also add that it is up to the government of the day to discontinue a trial that has become albatross and a blight that make this administration look like the infamous one is succeeded, he added. On his part, activist lawyer Maduabuchi Idam suggested that with a fair trial, judges would need to rescue themselves from Kano's trial. Idam told News the only thing here is a fair trial, where the trial is seen to be fair and not just fair, where the trial is just and speedy, where there are no needless delays on the part of the state. You can see that the state has made a series of applications for amendment of the charges. Those amendments led to the matter to be protracted. The delay was occasioned by Nnamdi Kanu or his team, but by the state. When you have that delay, many things would have lasted. The period the case lasted in Justice Nyako's court, it could have been concluded without needing to get to this point. The case has lasted in that court for many years, whereas the case could have been concluded within a few months. The state is not interested in giving Kanu a fair trial, but only interested in getting him thorough, horrendous experience. 2 or 3 months is enough to conclude the trial. The continued prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, has not solved any problem or security issues in Nigeria. The state has a right to enter a law called null proseq, a constitutional right given to the Attorney General to decide to discontinue a case instituted by the federal government. Anybody undergoing criminal prosecution is undergoing that at the instance of the state. The Attorney General can decide to prosecute 2 out of 10 people for a crime and nobody will question him for not prosecuting the others. He can decide to withdraw the same case along the way. It is sound and honorable thing for the judge to rescue herself from a case if the judge entertains an application requiring her to rescue herself, especially when such an application is meritorious. Ejimako also noted that Kanu's case is still open to both political and judicial solution. The 2 parties you mentioned, political solution and the judicial solution, are foreclosed. They are still open and ongoing. Presently, the legal team is working quietly to ensure that Kanu's case is treated in accordance with the Constitution, equity, and good conscience, he added. Similarly, Aidan said President Bola Tinubu might be considering touring the path of a political solution. He suggested that the president might be consulting with relevant stakeholders on the need to consider a political solution in Kanu's case. I don't want to believe that a political solution has failed because there is no limit to exploring a political solution. All right, my wonderful people, I don't see as that matter they go concerning Mazin Nnamdi Kanu Omadike, one of Ndibo Odogwana Manzunanya. Remember that yesterday will be the Independence Day. The IPOB members want Ndibo not to celebrate the Independence Day. Let's go down to the information. As the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, continues to linger, judges withdraw from his case is raising concern. The members of the IPOB has warned that the Biafrans should not uh, uh, celebrate the Independence Day. The indigenous people of Biafra has banned the celebration of Nigeria's 64th Independence Day in the Southeast region. In a statement on Monday, the separatist group declared that anyone found participating in any activity making this year's Independence Day will be considered an enemy of the land. It said Igbo should go about their normal businesses or remain in their houses if they choose to, but must refrain from any form of activities to mark Nigeria's independence. The group insisted that though Igbo were part of the struggle for Nigeria's independence, the union had proven injurious to them. The Directorate of State of the Global Family of the Movement of the Indigenous People of Biafra wishes to remind Biafrans at home and in the diaspora that the ban on the celebration of the Nigeria's annual October 1st Independence Day by Biafrans is still in force. As a Biafran, you are to avoid any Nigeria Independence Day celebration globally. Everybody the verse because if the government is actually working and if the government is working to better the life of the people, recently the government just borrowed $1.5 billion and also $70 billion grant was given to the government of Nigeria. And I'm wondering who is going to pay all this money. Maybe by the time all of us pass away, our great grandchildren will still be paying the debt that the past and the present government are owing World Bank and other institutions that borrow money to the nations, because the government has failed. When a government fails to be productive, rather being productive, when a government choose lavishing rather than being productive, that is always the outcome of things like that. You can see that Nigeria is becoming poorer by the day and inflation is getting higher by the day. That is to show a failed government. The prices of things are skyrocketing. The prices of fuel, prices of food commodities, prices of clothes, and everything you can think about, they are all increasing in rate. And this is not what you can just sit down and watch. Meanwhile, let me wind down the curtain here. And if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. Si Nigeria nye bezina na emesano ya megini no gademma. Ekene munu. Yeah.